On this computer. Hola, happy July 1st, you guys. I can't believe it's a new month. I have got this internal panic inside that summer is slipping by when I know it really just started, but I start getting nervous. And oddly enough, today here in Ohio, Carolyn will know this, Sonia will know this. It's like chilly. Like it was like 54 this morning on my walk. I could have had a sweatshirt on. It was so crazy. So anyway, that's not helping my anxiety any, but I hope you're all having a fabulous summer so far. Yeah, it was like chilly. I think our high today is like 78 or something. It's literally beautiful. It's perfect out. I can't, the dogs keep like dragging me outside and they want, so they're locked up right now for this. But um with it being the first of the month and 105, I know I was talking to your dad this morning. That's just crazy. That's hot. No, that's why Lindsay left town. Yeah, 78 yesterday. I felt like yesterday was warmer though. Maybe there's such a breeze today. Anywho, enough about my weather. I apologize. Okay, so with it being July 1st, yesterday on the power plan, we talked about setting some goals for the upcoming month. And we really just talked about like, it was power plans. We were just talking about the volume, the customers, that kind of thing. But I want to talk to you guys about things that hold you back from setting your goals, or even once you set them, hold you back from actually seeing them come to fruition. And so I have 6 things here we're going to go over. I'm going to go through the first 4 kind of fast because they could be Zooms all on their own. And then the last 2, I want to dive into a little bit deeper. So number 1 is a lack of confidence. So a lot of times you won't set a goal or even, or maybe you'll set it, like write it on a sheet of paper, but then you don't actually focus on it because you don't even think from the get-go that you can get it, right? Like you just don't even have the confidence to go after it. Like maybe you said it because you know it's the thing to do, or maybe you said it because you think that's what you should be going after, but you don't actually have the time, or I'm sorry, not time. You don't actually have the confidence to push for that. Like you don't, so I'm going to read a little bit. Like you don't believe in your own abilities, you don't capitalize on your own strengths, and you don't address your own weaknesses. So something that I think that we do as a team every month that can truly honestly help build your confidence are the passion projects, right? Like every passion project I've ever set for myself, I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. And I sure as heck don't know if I can do it every single day of the month. But lo and behold, I've done it. I've done it every day of the month, right? Like you make it through. And so it's setting little challenges to yourself and then sticking with it and proving to yourself that you can really do these. The second reason that you're not getting to your goals or even setting them is because they are poorly defined. And we will come back a lot. Like every month we ask for you to send your goals to your upline. And as a team, we've gotten so much better, but it's because as an upline, we've sent them back. Like people will say, I'm going to grow my husband's account and I'm going to get new customers this month. I'm going to focus on earning that trip. Well, that's like pie in the sky. Like, how are you building your customers or your husband's account? What are you doing to get your husband's account there? How many new customers are you adding? What steps are you doing? Right? You have to be clearly defined. Otherwise, it's just like a la, like I'm going to live a happy life. Well, okay, how? What are you going to do? Right? So clearly defining your goals will help you get there. Number 3 is time, taking too long or trying to rush. So it would be like somebody coming on today and saying, it's July 1st. I've never sold Thrive before, but by the end of the month, I'm going to hit 200K. Probably rushing your goals a little bit. But then there's the opposite of that, of somebody saying, in the next 10 years, I'm going to hit 40K, right? Like you could go faster. So it's finding the cadence at which you can actually balance the building of the climb to the goal that you're going for versus your actual life. So, granted, if somebody comes on and they say right away, I want to hit 12K in the first 2 months, it's doable. I've seen people do it in 1 month. But also, if somebody comes to me and says, I have 6 kids, they're all in intramural sports. My husband travels out of town, so I'm home alone with these kids all day long. Plus, I already work a part-time job. My mom watches them at night for me sometimes when I'm at work. I want to hit 12K in 2 months. We'll go for it, but that might be asking a little bit more of the time that you actually have allowed, right? So it's a matter of knowing yourself, knowing what time you can dedicate to something. And that's also why I think it helps us to keep things clearly defined, right? Because if you know you're chasing 6 new customers this month, but you also know that you have a whopping 10 minutes a day to dedicate to your job, that may not pan out for you. Number four, being overwhelmed. So people may feel overwhelmed by the size and complexity of your goals, which can make them feel impossible to reach. So that kind of goes back to the example I just gave you. If you really truly don't have enough time to dedicate to your business, to the goal that you have set, then you're going to feel overwhelmed. I mean, I've done it before too, where maybe we're at like the 20th of the month and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to make it through the end of the month. Or like, I know I'm going to make it, but I'm not going to make it to my goal, right? Like you start to feel overwhelmed by all the things. And like I said, those four things each individually could be their own Zoom. So I'm just kind of brushing on them to kind of get you in the mindset, right? We're talking about why we're not hitting our goals or why we're not even willing to set the goals. Any of you that have been to Florida with me before at a leader retreat will know that I have a very big connection to goal setting and God, and the fact that he's made all this out there for us, and that we just have to be bold and brave and willing to let him show off in our lives. Right? That's also a whole other Zoom on its own. But so the number 5 and number 6, these are the ones I really want to dive into. Okay. So number 5, this is a big one, and I see it. I see it every day. It happens to me, but I see it every day. So it is fear of failure. You don't have to fess up, but how many of you have not set a goal before because you're just straight up afraid you can't even hit it? Like, I'm not even going to set that goal because I don't think I can hit it. I'm afraid I would hit it, right? It's natural to feel apprehension about the unknown, but fear can prevent people from taking risks and seizing opportunities. So I have 4 journal prompts that I would love for you to write down. And when you are going through the process of setting goals, whether it's something you do weekly, daily, monthly, yearly, or just randomly on a Monday afternoon after a Zoom, you're like, I need to look at my goals, right? These are 4 questions. So the next time you feel afraid, take a deep breath and write down your thoughts. Here's the 4 questions. Are you ready? First question is, what am I really afraid of? So writing down your fears can make them feel less overwhelming. Problems tend to look a lot smaller on paper. I have heard time and time again, people say, well, I'm afraid to hit 12K because I don't think I can lead that team, right? In all honesty, hitting 12K doesn't, yes, you'll have some downline, obviously, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to lead a team. Look at how we're set up here. We're all, every last one of us, 80Ks, 40Ks, 12Ks, 4Ks. We are all set up under Lindsay Dickens Rossler. Sorry, Lindsay, I always say your whole damn name. We're all set up under Lindsay, right? So I don't have to run my team all by myself. But on the flip side of that, even as a 200K, Lindsay doesn't have to run her team all by herself. We all help do it. So if you really start to say, what am I afraid of? If for example, I'm afraid to set the goal of 12K because I don't think I can lead a team. Well, as soon as you write that down and look at it, you'll realize, well, that's silly because I'm not leading the whole team. It's not my job. I'm afraid I can't keep it monthly. Okay, well, if you lose 12K one month, big deal, right? Like, what are you actually afraid of? So it says, the second one is, this is a good one. So are you ready? Who am I fighting for? Okay. So sometimes your fear stops you from helping people you care about. Reminding yourself of this can give you the push you need. When you say, I'm afraid to go 12K, or I don't want to set the goal for 12K because I'm afraid of failure, who is that 12K going to help? Are you just thinking about yourself in the moment? Are you starting to think about the fact that, like, for example, I know when Sandra hit 12K, that allowed her to gift an automobile to somebody. I know for me, when I hit 12K, it offered my husband and I the ability to pay off a giant credit card bill that we had been hanging on to because we were able to sell a vehicle. And so while that was partly me, that was also partly him, right? So who are you fighting for? If you're so afraid of failure, remind yourself who you're fighting for. Lindsay says, oh, I love that, who you're fighting for. Tears, especially when the vacay. Yeah, exactly. Lindsay's on vacation right now with her parents and her husband, having that, like, vacations are fun, but when you get to spend time with your family like that, that is so much more than a vacation. Like, I've been on vacations, but then I've had vacations with family. And you realize the older you get every single day that those those times together are priceless. And so if hitting 12K allows you to spend that time with your family, that is so much more important than you being afraid of falling on your face, right? Like fear of failure is it holds no grip at that point because you realize that your goals, while you are the one setting your goals, everything you do in life affects someone else. You know the butterfly effect, right? Like the butterfly flaps its wing here and it causes the breeze to blow and the pollen goes and the thing gets planted and before you know it, across the country something has happened because of that butterfly effect. Those are your goals. So when you're getting all like worked up, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can. Yeah, you can, especially if you remind yourself who you're fighting for. Here's one that I love. Oh, sorry. You had me put dad. Yes. Okay. So Sandra, one of her biggest whys is her daddy. And we talked about it several times. And finally, I was like, why don't you just put a picture of your dad right in front of you? Because where she, like, you can see her on the screen now, she's looking at us, but right above her is a shelf. And so she has stuff there. And I said, put a picture of your dad up there. And by golly, she hit her bonus, right? Which she shared with her daddy. So remembering who you're fighting for, not just yourself, will help you get there. The third question, and I love this one. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst? Let's say you want to hit 12K, but you're afraid of failing. Well, what's the worst that could happen if you hit it? Maybe you lose it 1 month. Maybe somebody on your team leaves and you're not 12K again, but you're already not 12K. So what's it matter? Right? Have you ever heard the thing where people say, what if network marketing doesn't work out? Well, then I'll just go get a regular job like a regular person. Like literally our worst case scenario is someone's day to day. Use your phone screensaver for a visual of what you're fighting for so you have it in your face. I don't know if you can see mine, but it's my babies. Look at those. Oh, look at them faces. Well, it won't show you. Dag nabbit. Anyway, it's my boys. Yeah. Like, what are you fighting for? I'm a big fan too. If you make like a vision board, like if you do a digital vision board, you can put that on your lock screen for your phone. But yeah, so what is the worst that can happen? The worst case scenario may not be as bad as you think. In many cases, failure doesn't change much about your current situation. So what do you have to lose? Like, I want you to think, let's just think of, I don't know, this is just my life. You know how I am. I'm all about my house and my garden and stuff. Like, what if I'm like, oh, I think I want to put a case in point. I got some free trees last year. And I'm like, oh, I think I want to put one there, there, and there. Well, one of them died, two of them lived. Guess what? Where the one died, there wasn't a tree to begin with. So I'm not really out anything, right? But had I not tried, then I wouldn't even know. So same thing when it comes to your goals. If you're thinking of a goal and you're like, oh, that one makes my belly hurt. I don't think I can do it. Oh my gosh, what's the worst? Right? Last question. And I love this one. I loved all these questions, obviously, but I love this one. What if I succeed? Think of how your life would improve if you followed through. Remember why you got into this in the first place. So again, where I planted those 3 trees and yes, one died, but 2 live, where the 2 are living, they're beautiful. I'm so excited to watch them grow. Like how awesome that literally changed that actually, truly, physically changed the entire environment by planting a tree. Like not to sound goofy, but it does. Birds are landing on it. Insects are crawling on it. It's providing shade that was never there before. Like it literally changed the world because I was like, let's plant a tree. So your goals don't have to be so crazy hard or so outlandish, right? They could be small baby steps that get you further into your bigger goals. But what if you succeed? Like when it says on our thing to send out 5 messages to say hi to people, oh my God, what if they don't talk back? Well, you weren't friends with them to begin with. So there's no skin off your back. What if they do talk back? What if they do respond? Holy crap, I got a new friend. They might want to try Thrive someday, right? Like, what if you succeed? So I think when you take any goal through that process, especially the ones where you're afraid of that goal, I think it provides a lot of clarity. It can also open up for you in that when you're kind of dissecting it through those 4 questions. You can be reminded of, wait, is it my confidence that I'm missing here? Am I overwhelming myself based on this goal? Is my goal not really defined very well? And now that I've gone through this process, I understand it more. So going through the fear of failure questions, I think is really important. So I'm going to repeat them for you. What am I really afraid of? Who am I fighting for? What's the worst that could happen? And what if I succeed? I love all those questions. Okay. And last but not least is uncertainty. So people may be unsure about the goals they want to set, such as the type of rank, like it says jobs, I'll say rank, type of rank that would align with their passion or their career goals. So maybe you're like, I don't know if I want to be at 12K. I don't know if that's really what I want in life, right? Oh, Tom's at my house. I missed it. Did you just show that? My sweet hubby's cleaning your bin. Oh, look at it. We're both working. I'm so proud of us. Um, so sometimes just being unsure about the actual goal, if it aligns with what you're wanting in your life, or even unsure of like, have you ever set a goal and then realized a couple months later that that's not really your goal? Like you've spent time with it and you're like, that's not really what I want. The more I've thought about it. And so you get that uncertainty of the goal, which will obviously keep you from setting it or editing it. And if you don't have it set securely, then you're definitely not going to achieve it. So something I want to encourage you guys to do, and this is just a different way of looking at your goals and your visions that I am going to do in the month of July. This is my actual passion project. This is what brought this whole thing on. I have had many, many, many a vision board, and I've witnessed
Hi.
it. Hi, Tom.
Hola.
He's a nut. Um,
See ya.
so I've had many vision boards and I have seen them work, but I have also had vision boards that hung on the wall that I walked by a million times a day that I didn't pay attention to. I didn't focus on, I didn't connect with. I actually had a vision board one time on that. I pointed where it was. It was over there. I think it said 2022 until like September of 2023. Like I had never changed it. It was just up there, right? So it wasn't doing its job. Part of it was I wasn't taking the time to look at it. Well, that's not, that is the whole reason. I wasn't taking time to look at it. So what I want to encourage you guys to do, and this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to create, it's called a vision book. So it's basically those pictures that you would print and put on the board and hang up someplace. It's just basically putting them in a binder or a folder. But kicker, you set your timer for 10 minutes every day and you sit down with that book or binder and you go through it and you look at it and you talk to it and you absorb it and you focus on it, right? Sandra's got one or something she wants to show us.
Okay, go grab a composition notebook. They're going to be dirt cheap right now because they're already putting school supplies out. God help us. But if you get them now, they're dirt cheap. They're like 50 cents a piece. It's got a hard cover. You can cover it with whatever fabric or whatever paper you want. Go to the dollar sec or the craft section there at Walmart. Put that, and then you can have your vision stuff all in a cheap little composition book.
I love when you get so excited, you get all like stuttered up on your words. You're like Walmart, Target, Craft. I don't know. Like I'm so excited. Yeah, you could do it in a notebook like that. You could literally just put it in a file folder. You could put it in like a bind, like the clear, the clear sleeves or whatever they're called. Whatever you got laying around your house, use it, right? Don't go invest money on this. You are going to have to print pictures though. So for those of you that don't have maybe a printer at home, I encourage you to put the pictures that you want into Canva where you could put like 4 to 6 per page. And then you could like send them to, we have a UPS store, or you could take them to Walmart or Walgreens or whatever and have them printed just on regular paper. But the difference here is that this is like a book, not like a book. This is a book that you're creating with your goals in it that you will set your timer for and you will spend time with. And I think that's the biggest thing. I know that you can see things over time and they'll work with your brain, but just walking past the vision board wasn't cutting it for me. I need to truly sit down and have, I'm a visual person also. I think that's just part of it. And so my challenge to you is my July passion project, which is creating a vision book or binder, whatever you want to call it, and looking at it for 10 minutes every day. And like, not like looking at it while you have YouTube. This is me talking to myself, not looking at it while I have YouTube on, or not looking at it while I'm flipping through Facebook, are not looking at it while I'm making dinner. It's a literal 10 minutes where you're going to sit down and you're going to look through it. I found this at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 and it has blank pages. Like, oh, like a journal. Yeah, you could totally do a journal because then you could tape them or glue them in there, whatever. It doesn't matter what apparatus you use, but the thought is that instead of it hanging on a wall, it can be with you everywhere. So let's say you travel. I would encourage, if you're a traveler, Lindsay Rossler, I would encourage you to get like a small notebook and use that because that can go in your backpack or go in your luggage. Don't be putting in like a giant binder if you're going to then get on 18 planes for the next 6 months, which is going to be Lindsay's life. So think about, and I mean, even for me, like I don't leave the house a lot. But when I do, I just carry like a little crossbody bag. So I might even get like a smaller memo type notebook and use that. But the point is you print them out, you put them on the paper. Now you can talk to yourself in print around the paper. Like maybe you have a picture of your dream car. You can put your I ams around it. I'm 12K. I'm bringing on strong business-minded women. I'm building a team for my future. Like you can actually write around your picture so that when you do open it up and you look at it, you're not just staring at the picture, you are reading the words around the photo to help seal the deal. I'm thinking of printing photos and putting the circle ring. Yeah. So it's like the key ring thing, but maybe you can even go bigger, but you just print your pictures. It's kind of like Sandra, it's kind of like your Christmas book things you made where that was like the Christmas cards on the binder. Do you have your little clippy thing? No, the ones where like you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If you have it, do you have one of them handy?
Yeah, let me go grab one.
Okay, I knew you would. She's my if Lisa Cook's not on here, then I know Sandra is my craft queen. So it's basically taking like I'm gonna call it a binder clip, and that's not at all what it's called. Sandra will tell us what it's called in a minute. And you could take your pictures and you could actually laminate them even to keep them safer, but you put it on like that key ring thing. And so it's pretty small, but that's perfect because it could attach to your purse. It could go in your purse. It could go on your luggage. It can go with you wherever you want it to go. I would encourage you though, before you do, like if you're going to laminate those and put the hole punch and do all that, write the words on there. So instead of me just looking at a picture of a lake house, I wanted to say, I can't wait to bring my nephews to my lake house. I can't wait to have breakfast on my patio overlooking the lake, right? Like I'm going to put words with the photos so that when I spend those 10 minutes, I'm actually reading and seeing. Because that's what I was saying. Like if you go through your pictures while scrolling Facebook or while watching TV, you're not fully in it. But if there are words to read with your eyes to look at that photo, you're going to really absorb these goals a whole lot more. And you know, the thing I love about, I mean, the book is the same. You could rip a page out and change it if your goal changed. But I love that it's like, and maybe this is just me being OCD, but when I make a vision board, like I lay it out, I get it all just perfect, and I put it up there, I don't really change it because it's all pretty and it's all perfect and it's what I want it to be. But my little journal, like let's say I put a dream car in there and then a new car gets released and I'm like, oh, that's my dream car. I can rip out the old and put in the new, right? Without messing up my board. So for all of those reasons, this is why I want to challenge you guys to do this. Poor Sandra, she's probably going through her Christmas stuff now. Sandra, if you can't find it, it's okay. Everyone will understand. It's just it's a big circle binder thing. We've all seen them. It looks like a key ring holder, but bigger. So anyway, so I'm going to go back through these. Lack of confidence, poorly defined goals, time, being overwhelmed, fear of failure, and uncertainty. So the fear of failure are the 4 questions. Here she comes. Show it to us, girl. We've been waiting.
That was a box actually unpacked and organized, and I had to think about where I'd organized it. So it's just one of those metal rings.
There you go.
That's a tag on it. You don't have to do ribbon. I just had a crap ton of ribbon. Christmas cards, you could do your travel photos, whatever your vision board stuff is.
Where did you get your ring?
Probably Amazon or the Walmart or craft store.
Okay. All right. So fear of failure with the 4 questions and then uncertainty. I just feel like if you work on this vision book, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it a book for lack of a better word, it's going to help you get very certain with your goals. So that's all I have for you guys today. Does anybody have anything you want to add?
with anything, follow through is key. And that's just it. You're going to set your goals. And I set my goals at the beginning of June, but y'all, I did not follow through. It's on me. Now, I followed through on the low sugar, no sugar until my pretend cycle hit. And then I went off the wagon. But follow through. I challenged Carolyn to go message someone she wanted to go live with. She was was on her chicken list to go live with. She messaged them last week. I told her, I said, I'm going to challenge myself. My person was Leanne Monahan. We went live this morning.
Yeah. See, that's why with this book, I don't want you to just make the book. I want you to set the timer in your phone. Maybe you look at it for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes before bed. Maybe listen, I'll be honest. Maybe you put it in your bathroom and you just look at it when you go in your bathroom. Don't tell me that you've not played on your phone in the bathroom. I know you have. So instead of playing on your phone, you could just pick up your goal book while you're in the bathroom, right? Because I know a lot of you are busy, but make it so it doesn't have to, and this doesn't have to be huge. Like this doesn't have to be 8,000 pages, right? It could just be like, that's why I love the book idea, because you can keep adding to it, or like that ring idea, you can keep adding to it. Maybe you start with 5 goals. Maybe then you add 6. Maybe you take away 1, you add 2 more, right? It's a moving thing, but the important part is that you're looking at it every day and spending time with it. So that is it. Thank you so much for being here. Happy freaking July. I can't believe we had a cameo appearance by my handsome husband today. How exciting. Thank you for that, Sonia. And I'll see you girls later. Bye.